CBS Radio, a groundbreaking broadcasting group in Mexico with over 50 years' experience in radio station operations, present in 105 major markets in 9 countries. With 150 radio stations, is the largest Spanish broadcasting pop and regional music network in Latin America.
Mi nombre es Michele con The QS Realty Group. Acompáñame todos los sábados a las 10 de la mañana para informarte de las varias maneras de comprar tu casa. Hablamos el sábado.
Mi nombre es Sergio Ortiz de Banco of England, invitándolo a que sintonicen con nosotros en 1340 AM, La Mejor. Sábados de 10 a 11 de la mañana, Michelle y nosotros le brindaremos valiosa información de cómo cumplir su sueño de adquirir su propia casa.
Yo soy albañil y escucho La Mejor. Somos La Mejor.
Hola mis futuros clientes, espero que pasaron una semana espectacular. Yo soy Michele, la reina de bienes raíces, y aquí estamos en el COI. Gracias por escucharnos en el 1340 AM. Aquí estamos con Sergio de Bank of England y también tenemos a Hope Richards, que es una abogada de Richards Law Firm. Y nosotros vamos a hablar con Hope en 1 o 2 minutos sobre la impuesto y confianza en la tierra, cómo se hace eso, cuándo nosotros tenemos que comprar y el proceso. Pero primero es mañana, es el Día de los Madres. Sergio, ¿ya tú compraste algo para su esposa?
Sí, yo le compré una televisor la semana pasada, le compré cable, está...
We're talking about Mother's Day. Are you all set for Mother's Day?
You'll have to ask my husband about
Mother's Day. Pero vamos a hacer algo. Yo y Sergio queremos dar un montón de abrazos a todas las mamás que van a celebrar el Día de las Madres. Y ahora yo quiero ofrecer una tarjeta de regalo de $25 a la tercera persona que me llame y que me hace una pregunta. Puedes llamar al 407-394-1340. Yo te voy a dar ese número de nuevo, 407-394-1340. Es una tarjeta de Visa, un regalo de nosotros, de Joe y Sergio, de $25. So, vamos a ver quién va a ganar eso. Ok, vamos a empezar hoy. La semana pasada alguien me preguntó a Joe y Sergio si es mejor de usar una abogada o una compañía de título de cejar. So, vamos a preguntar a Hope. ¿Te acuerdas de esto? Va a ser parte en inglés y parte en español. Plain English, que siempre yo y Sergio te decimos. Hope, how are you today, Hope?
Good.
All
Thank you for
excited.
having me.
Oh, we're excited that you're here. You can finally answer the question that one of our listeners had asked us, should they use an attorney or should they use a title company to use for closing their home?
An attorney and a title company is going to do the exact same thing. The end result is going to be that you're going to get a title policy. I'm an attorney, but I work for a title company. Mm-hmm. The difference is, and as an attorney myself, I can say this, one's just more expensive than the other usually.
Okay.
Usually a straight law firm, their title and closing costs is going to be a little more expensive than going with a title company.
So it doesn't really matter, it's just who you feel comfortable with.
Right. What I would look for if I'm doing a closing, I would ask who that attorney or that title company's underwriter is.
Okay.
You want a reputable underwriter that's been there for years, so that if something does come up on your title policy and you file a claim, they're going to be there and they're going to answer the phone and they're going to have the money to pay out your claim. So that's what's important.
So let's say if they use a title company and God forbid there's a problem with the title company, should they go back to the title company or should they just find Hope Richards and say, help me?
If you have a title policy, I would go ahead and call the underwriter and the title company that issued that policy. That's what you paid for.
Okay.
If you're having an issue, though, go ahead and call me or a real estate attorney, and they can help you when you start to have problems with that claim.
Perfect. Okay, so she finally answered. We got our question answered, Sergio.
Bueno, básicamente para las personas que no entienden español voy a ser lo más breve posible. Ella lo que dijo fue que dependiendo de la situación puedes usar un abogado o puede ser una compañía de título. Los dos son iguales porque los dos tienen que seguir los mismos reglamentos de la ley. La cuestión es que la persona que usa un abogado pues tiene un poco más de acceso a la ley. Tenemos una llamada. Buenos días, ¿estás en el aire?
¿Te estoy escuchando la radio?
Sí, estás en el aire. Buenos días.
Por el certificate.
¿Ah?
Bueno, ¿cómo estás?
Buenos días.
Era la primera llamada.
The certificate.
De 300 pesos.
De los $25. Ah, usted es el primero que llamó. Yo estoy buscando el tercera persona que llame. Ok, gracias.
Gracias, pase buen
Ok,
día.
que pase buen día.
Pero, entonces lo importante es que si hay alguna persona que tiene un problema con el título, que entonces si no le da resultado a la compañía de título que le dio, entonces puede llamar a un abogado. O cualquier cosa puede seguir a... Los dos son iguales, lo único que si hay un problema entonces vas a un abogado para que te ayude a resolver la cuestión del problema con el título.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sergio.
No hay problema.
So, vamos a empezar con the land trust. Before we get started, the land trust could be very complicated and could be very confusing as you're going along, you know, as being an investor for real estate. So, Hope, are you teaching this anywhere before we get into this long-winded process of this wonderful land trust, of what it is? And because it can be complicated, especially for a brand new investor who wants to invest in real estate.
Yeah, to just wing a land trust can be confusing. I have a lot of first-time investors that are clients, and they always want me to start from the very beginning and explain it to them to make them feel more comfortable. I cannot do that for a client in a 30-minute consultation.
Okay.
So they've asked me to put forth a course or an outline or something for people, so I've been thinking about it. The demand has gotten there, so I am going to release a course here pretty soon. If anyone is interested, you can just email me at info@teachmelandtrust.com, and I'll be shooting out little videos, quick tips, pointers that I hear throughout my day as a real estate attorney while we're waiting for the process of the launch date.
Can you give that email address again?
Sure, it's info@teachmelandtrusts.com. Just shoot me an email, and like I said, you'll be getting some cool videos and little tips about investing in land trusts throughout the process.
Perfect. Okay, so let's start. What exactly is a land trust?
Okay, a land trust in its simplest form is just a different way to hold title. Investors use them, homeowners use them, meaning your primary residence homeowners use them. It's just a different way to hold title. So instead of the deed saying Hope Richards owns it, it would say the 123 Main Street Land Trust owns it. The beauty of that is that when someone goes onto public record, all they see is that the land trust owns it. They don't know who the beneficiary of that land trust is. There's all kind of reasons why people want that. Some of them are very simple for probate purposes, and some of them can get, way more complicated because they are a professional athlete, they need to hide assets. So there's lots of reasons why you can need it.
Why would somebody want to hide their assets? From an ex-spouse is what comes to my mind.
Okay, I wasn't going to say it, you did. Yes. There are situations, you have an ex-spouse, or that you have some creditors coming down the line. Things like that can be a reason why you want to hide assets. And you're not going to hide them forever. I mean, let's be real. That's a misconception about land trust. I'm not going to sit here and protect every single asset that you have. If you have been doing some really shady stuff in real estate, they're going to find your stuff.
Eventually.
Let's just be honest. But the good thing is, when you hold title in a land trust, each individual land trust is considered a separate entity, just like you and I are. So I can't get a creditor, have a judgment against me, and then they come and take your stuff.
Okay.
It's the same thing. So if you have 5 properties in 5 different land trusts, and they get a judgment against 123 Main Street, they can't then go take 124, 125, and 126. They're owned by completely separate entities because you put them in separate land trusts.
So the verbiage that you use of hiding is not as protecting, it's more of a protection.
It's more of the way that the statute has codified this idea to give you the protection, if the reason that you're using it is asset protection. But you can use it for probate purposes, You can, like if you were to die in the state of Florida, your entire estate has to go through probate. If your real property is in a land trust, you can skip that whole process for that real property. It can just go straight to the beneficiaries that you appointed.
Well, I learned that the hard way because I had very little time as my father was passing away, and he had property. And we found out that we had to put everything into a trust. So now everything was put into a trust. Otherwise, we would have had to gone through probate. So that's good to know for people that are out there that have property, and God forbid, you know, that day is going to come for all of us. To protect yourself is to put your properties or your asset in some type of a trust.
Some vehicle, whether it's a living trust or a land trust, do something
with it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, to avoid that whole probate, because it can be costly.
It can be very expensive. If you die intestate without a will or a trust or anything, it can be expensive.
Yeah.
Depending on, you know, the entire estate.
Right. Yeah, I learned. So you would use it basically to protect yourself. So let's say I'm an investor with my dear friend Sergio from Bank of England, and Sergio and I were going to decide to buy a land trust. Why would we use the land trust versus an LLC? Because lots of people can say, I'm an investor under Sergio and Michele LLC.
Well, if you're an investor, the first thing you care about is your money.
Oh yeah.
And your bottom line. A land trust is cheaper.
The land trust is cheaper.
A land trust is cheaper than creating an LLC and paying those yearly renewal fees. It's way cheaper. So that's the first thing as an investor why you would want it. If you're an investor that is wholesaling, for an example, I think everyone wants to wholesale.
Everybody would like to
these days.
wholesale. Yeah.
Everyone wants to wholesale. Well, wholesaling is nothing but numbers, really.
Right.
With a land trust, if you and Sergio were to purchase that thing and put your names as a beneficiary, and you found your end buyer, instead of doing another closing and paying all those costs again, you can just assign your beneficial interest to your end buyer. Now, when you get there, call me, and I'm going to make sure you do it right. But you're going to want to do that. And that's also nice. You do have to pay, in Florida, we have dock stamps.
Right.
That you have to
Dock
pay
stamps
on
on
the value of your purchase. So don't think you're going to jump the state by not paying dock stamps on that assignment.
Right.
But it will save you on some closing costs.
Yeah, I think our wonderful governor, Rick Scott, will be knocking on our door. Maybe he'll come for a cup of coffee.
They do some audits.
Yeah,
They do
maybe
some audits.
he'll come for a cup of coffee. But I was always under the impression, I don't know about you, Sergio, but the LLC is kind of protects you if, God forbid, there's a lawsuit against you versus the land trust.
But if you're going to do that, let's say you set up a Florida corporation or an LLC.
Right.
If you go, for instance, if you look up my LLC, if you go on sunbiz.org and you type in investor trustee services, you know everything about it. You know I own it, you know where to find me, you know everything.
Right.
So taking
Good old
title,
internet, yeah.
Right. So taking a title in a land trust tells me everything I need to know about the person I want to sue. So
okay.
there's that. And then you're not going to get that separation of liability that we talked about earlier. So if you have 5 rentals and you put them all in your LLC, something happens on rental number 1, all 5 of your rentals are subject to any judgment that comes down on that one. Or a code lien.
So you're not protected, really.
Not really. I mean, all 5 of them are open to any kind of liability. Even something as simple as a code lien. If you got a code lien on one property and then you wanted to sell the 5th one, you can't sell that 5th one until you fix that code lien on the 1st one, because the LLC owns all 5. That's considered one entity. Whereas 5 separate land trusts will be shielding that liability individually.
Wow, that I just learned a lot. I thought the
Ta-da!
limited liability, that's a LLC, I'm protected. Go ahead and sue me because I'm protected.
Right.
Not so much.
You could set up 5 individual LLCs, but that's expensive. And your accountant is going to hate you at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Filing 5 separate returns
And
for
your
those.
mortgage broker will detest you when you try
Yeah.
to buy another property.
Oh, Sergio. But you could handle it because you're
I
the
know,
man for
I got
all
patience,
loans.
but when I have a stack of papers that weighs like 5 pounds and it's just your LLCs and your tax return,
I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
no,
Need
you
to
better
know-
buy me a whole
Coffee store. Yes. Now you can make your LLC the beneficiary. You can do that. And you can have that one LLC be the beneficiary of that land trust. So the way that a land trust works is a trust, let's be clear, it's a piece of paper.
It's a piece of
It's
paper.
a piece of paper. It
Okay.
cannot hold title to real estate. It can't have a checking account. None of it. You have to have a trustee appointed to hold title for that land trust. So that's what investor trustee services is. For clients, if some of my clients have a land trust, it says investor trustee services as trustee for the 123 Main Street Land Trust. So if you were to go into Orange County Property Appraiser, for example, you would see hundreds of properties under investor trustee services. Those aren't mine.
Those aren't yours.
Those are not all mine. Those are my clients, but no one knows who's who but me, because I know who those beneficiaries are. The beneficiaries control me. Right. I take instruction from those beneficiaries. So that's where you get your privacy.
Oh, okay. And what were you going to say, sir?
The beneficiaries, are they part of the public records, or
No.
That's separate?
Yes, land trusts are not recorded in public record.
Okay.
That's
So
just a
we
piece of paper.
couldn't go in. We couldn't like as a realtor. You know, we go snooping around to find who the owner is, so we can knock on their door, or we can send them a nice letter to see if they want to sell or purchase or whatever have you. For that, we wouldn't be able to find that information.
It would come to me. I get hundreds of them
You get
a week.
hundreds of them.
Yes.
Wow.
I get everything. I get that. I get your tax bills. I get all of that. If anyone wants to find, if you are my client and the beneficiary, if anyone wants to find you, they come through me first.
So you're like the bodyguard.
The gatekeeper.
Right.
The gatekeeper.
Right. A trustee is a really important thing to pick. I have clients that pick their brother or their spouse. You can make yourself your trustee if you want to.
Yeah, but I got you in front of me, so I'm
Right.
good.
You never know when code enforcement calls, and that makes any property owner nervous.
Oh, yeah.
When code enforcement calls.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have me could pick up the phone and say, okay, no problem, just send me the violation and we'll get it taken care of.
Right.
And
right.
then, I tell you what's going on with your property. Some interesting things happen as a trustee of land trust.
I bet. So
Yeah.
you could probably write a book by the
Yeah.
time you're done.
Right.
Wow. So what exactly does it mean when you have the land versus the trust? Like, what is it difficult to set up? Is
Oh,
it?
no. If you want to set up a land trust, you should have an attorney draft your land trust. There's plenty of land trust forms out there on the internet. You could Google and find 10 right now.
Okay.
You should have an attorney licensed in your state or that's really familiar with them drafted for you. That's definitely the first thing you should do. That's a very quick process. It shouldn't cost much. And then you just need to deed it into the land trust. So if you own it right now, you can just deed it into your land trust. It would go from, Michele the grantor to the 123 Main Street Land Trust as the grantee.
Wow, that's pretty simple to do. Pues vamos a coger un break, pero acuérdate, yo estoy buscando la tercera persona que me llamen para dar un $25 de regalo de Joe y Sergio para celebrar los días de los madres. Llama al 407-394-1340. Ya yo tuve una llamada, estoy esperando, necesito dos más. Yo soy Michele, la reina de Buenas Raíces, y aquí estamos en COI. Gracias por escucharnos en el 1340. Y acuérdate, yo y Sergio tenemos una tarjeta de Visa para la tercera persona que llamen, pero me tiene que preguntarme algo sobre el real estate o sobre la hipoteca, si está buscando una casa, pero esta tarjeta es para usarlo para comprar o para llevar a su madre a comer, a comprar una casa, el carro. Se puede usar los $25 a llevarla al movie. Que yo sé que mi mamá encanta ir al movie theater.
Me encanta ir a las películas.
Le encanta. Eso es lo que a ella le gusta.
Y
Pero a mí me
recuérdate
gusta reír, pero a ella le gustan los películas que son bien serios.
Sí.
Sí, a mí no. So, yo no
A
puedo
ella le gusta
mucho.
el drama.
Sí, a mí no. A mí me gusta reír.
Pero estamos celebrando el Día de la Madre con ustedes nuevamente esta mañana y queremos que la persona nos dé una llamadita. Cualquier pregunta en qué podemos ayudarlo en cuestiones de comprar su propia casa. Y estamos esperando 2 llamadas más. Ya vino la primera, está esperando la segunda y la tercera. Por favor, nuevamente llámenos al 407-394-1340. Y por lo menos, si no tenías nada para darle a tu mamá o tu esposa, que es la madre de tus hijos, por lo menos trata a ver si conseguimos una tarjetita para ti. Y le das algo y lo tomas, aunque sea para que te compres un dulce, un bombón,
un bombón.
Algo. Pero nada, seguimos adelante. Estamos aquí nuevamente con Hope Richards de Richards Law Firm. Estamos aprendiendo mucho acerca de lo importante que es de las propiedades y los abogados son unas personas que cuando tú no los necesitas no te gustan, pero ay, como te encantan cuando verdaderamente necesitas uno. Tenemos otra llamada al aire. Buenos días, ¿con quién estamos hablando?
Con Venus.
Venus, buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
Bien.
Gracias por llamar, usted es la llamada número 2. Esperamos por la tercera.
Gracias. Sigue ahí, ¿qué
Oh,
estás
sí.
diciendo?
No, que mucha gente, los abogados, and I'm on a Spanglish side. When you don't want a lawyer, you hate them. Es la verdad. Cuando tú no
we
quieres un
love
abogado.
Hope Richards.
Pero
Richards
no,
Law Firm.
esta Hope te da Hope, te da toda la esperanza que vas a necesitar. Pero siempre es bueno tener buen consejería. And it's always good to have good counseling in every aspect of real estate. It's always good to have a backup. And if you feel like you need to have answers to questions that you have, you can always call her at the Richard Law Firm. What's the number again?
It's 407-539-0781.
One more time?
One more time?
407-539-0781.
Okay, aquí escucharon el número de la dama, es buena abogada. Estamos esperando por la llamada número 3, por favor. La persona interesada en adquirir los $25 del gift card, estamos esperando. Mientras tanto, vamos a seguir hablando acerca de, what we're talking about, land trust, or what?
We're talking about land trust.
Okay.
And if she's teaching classes for land trust, if anybody wants to attend, they can always email her at info@teachmelandtrust.com, because she is getting ready to do some classes in regards to land trust. Maybe you and I should go. We can pick up a few things.
Maybe we have to go.
We have to go.
We
Yeah,
have,
you
we
have
have
to
to
go.
learn about this. If we're gonna deal with the public, we're gonna have to
I'm
learn.
learning
You're not
one or
even a
two
qualified agent if you don't know land trust.
Well,
You
we've gotten by on a few deals
That's true.
on that. You know, we've gotten by.
I've called y'all before, I know.
I know. See?
También a las personas que nos están escuchando internacionalmente, otras personas que están fuera del país, es bien importante porque cuando estás haciendo negocio aquí en Estados Unidos es bueno tener un land trust para protección de ustedes. Ustedes están invirtiendo su dinero aquí y qué mejor manera de proteger a ustedes y su propio dinero que haciendo las cosas apropiadamente. Ella es una experta en el tema, lleva ya más de 10 años en el transcurso como abogada y se sabe las diestras y siniestras de este negocio. Son personas de allá fuera de la nación que están tratando de adquirir propiedades aquí. Es bueno hablar con ella.
You mentioned a good point. We have listeners outside of the state, outside of the country. He mentioned a good point. If somebody is from outside of the country who would like to buy property here, they can do it in a land trust, can they not?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter if you're living in the U.S., you can still do the land trust if you live in Mexico,
Yes.
Venezuela, or...
Absolutely. I have foreign investors as beneficiaries of land trust all the time. It
The
doesn't
process
matter
is the
your
same?
location. It's exactly the same.
Okay.
Your location doesn't matter. The property location matters.
Okay.
So there's only certain states that have codified a specific land trust statute that is beneficial for land trust. Others are more for conservation purposes.
Right.
So in Florida, we have that benefits investors. So what's important is that the property is in Florida or another state like it. But the beneficiary that's purchasing it can be from anywhere.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, that's great for us to know for our foreign investors.
For our investors,
Right.
yeah.
We can
When you
advise them.
Right, when you sell it, you're subject to the same FERPTA laws and
The
everything else.
FERPTA.
Okay, perfect. So let's go on to tax deed.
Yes.
Escritura impuesto.
Títulos de
So-
ajá.
The tax deed is different. So what is the difference between a tax deed and a tax certificate?
Okay, both originate from the clerk of courts, and they come about when a property owner fails to pay their real estate property taxes.
Okay.
Once you become late and fail to pay your real estate property taxes, the tax assessor's office issues a certificate. There are people who invest in just those certificates.
Right.
So they go purchase them, they pay your taxes, and they basically get a lien against your property. And they're allowed to collect interest on that money. At 18%, I think is probably what it is. And they can hold that lien against your property for 2 years. They just kind of hope that at some point you pay it, but the whole time they're collecting that 18%. If you don't pay it, then in 2 years, they will redeem that certificate to the clerk of court. And then the clerk of court will go through a process to where they put your property up for sale at the tax deed auction. Then we get to another set of investors. There's the investors who actually purchase the property via getting the deed at the auction. So there's a tax certificate where you collect interest, and there's a tax deed where you actually purchase the property.
Okay. So when is it considered late? Let's say it's due on May 31st, June 1st, I still didn't pay my taxes. Can I run down to the courthouse and say, give me that property?
They issue certificates, every county is different, so
Right.
it's kind of hard to say when they do it, but
Right.
tax bills come out November 1st. That's pretty uniform. And then you'll notice if you go onto the tax assessor's website, it just kind of increases every month that you're late, but when they actually issue those certificates, it's different county by county.
Okay, so it just depends on the county, but when they're officially like late,
They'll issue the certificates to investors who can come in there and buy them. I think it's the same amount that's owed, and then they start collecting the interest for 2 years.
okay, and then let's say I buy the certificate, and can I knock on their door? Can I send them a letter? Can I, not a
No,
letter
they'll
to say, hi, I bought your certificate. Pay
Right,
me.
you buy the certificate. You kind of don't want them to pay you
Right.
because you kind of want to just keep accruing that interest for 2 years.
Because you want that money.
Right, that's how you're making your money.
Got
If you
it.
just keep it for a month, you really haven't made anything. So you
Right.
want to hold it for 2 years, and then you can. Certificate holders aren't necessarily in the business of owning real property, but they are in the business of earning that interest. So they want you to pay it off at some point, but once they redeem that sucker and it goes to the tax deed sale, whoever purchases that deed, that money pays off the certificate holder.
Got it. Okay. So then, are there any or some issues of purchasing a tax deed?
Yes, once you purchase a tax deed, and
Okay.
you want, if you're an investor, for example, and you want to sell it, you cannot sell a tax deed with marketable title. Most end buyers want marketable title. They want a title policy. They want to know there's not going to be any claims against their right to own the property. You can't get that with a tax deed unless you do a quiet title suit, or you hold it for 4 years, or you go back to the people who failed to pay their taxes and they give you a deed.
Wow, that seems like a hot mess.
It's all doable.
Okay.
You need to have someone, though, like a real estate attorney, do a search for you first to make sure you're not inheriting a big mess. But there's also a lot of profit to be made at these tax deed sales. So whereas if you're going on the MLS and everything's going for fair market value or more,
Exactly.
at the tax deed sales, people are getting this stuff for, 30, 40 cents on the dollar. So
That's cheap.
right. So you're getting it cheap, but you're assuming more risk, which, welcome to real estate investing.
Well, that's with every house. I know
Right.
when we flip a house, we're buying it and hoping that it's going to go through properly and not have any issues. But with the issues with the tax deed, purchasing it, you wouldn't even know if there's any liens on the property or anything until after you buy it, because you would have to really run down to the courthouse and purchase it quickly before Sergio beats me to it.
Right. Well, they have sale dates. They have specific sale dates, and they have exactly which properties are coming up on the block.
Oh, okay, so you have a little bit of time to figure that out.
Right. So you can kind of look at that and see which ones kind of match your investment portfolio, and then you can do some research to see what you may be inheriting. Now, theoretically, a tax deed sale is supposed to wipe out any liens against the property, just like a foreclosure. You know how they say
Right.
foreclosures wipe everything out.
But-
Theoretically, a tax
but-
deed is supposed to do the same thing. The IRS has a longer redemption period after the tax deed process. I think it's about 120 days. But with the tax deed, everything else should go away as long as the clerk of court did everything correctly. When they don't, that's when you're going to need to do a quiet title process to quiet any of those other claims.
And those claims will then go away after you do the quiet title.
Right.
Okay.
Assuming everything went right.
Assuming everything went right.
Right.
Why would it go right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because then you wouldn't be a real estate investor.
I was just gonna say that's also how I have a job.
Oh yeah,
Things like
yes,
that.
yes.
Right.
That's helpful.
Right.
Keeps your lights on at home.
It does. But money versus risk, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, pretty much. So when somebody purchases the tax lien, can the prior owner come back and reclaim the property at any time?
They do have a short redemption period. The only time that I've seen a viable claim against a person's property being sold at tax deed is when the clerk of court failed to follow the proper notice procedures. So there's a statute that specifically tells the clerk of court what they have to do. They have to give that property owner due process to have a chance to pay their taxes. If the clerk of court fails to do that, then that property owner does have a claim against the clerk of court for selling their property at the tax deed sale. But the clerk of court does this hundreds of times, a month.
So they know the paperwork and the
They know.
process, so it's unlikely for there to be some type of an error.
Right.
I'd be surprised if we joke about it, but I would be surprised if there was
I
an error.
rarely see that.
Yeah, because they could do this in their sleep, just kind of like you can sometimes do some of your process in
Exactly.
your sleep. Okay, so that's easy. So, and what happens if the owner comes back and says, hey, I wanted my house back? Is there, they just can't fight for it, it's too late, it's too everything?
If their claim is something like failure to provide proper service for the statute, then they can file a lawsuit and say this should have never gone to tax sale. You would get your money back as the investor. But otherwise, it's just like losing your house. Well, I don't want to say foreclosure because there's a lot of defenses to foreclosure these days.
Right.
But there's just not a whole lot you can say when you don't pay your taxes.
Right.
There's just not a whole lot there.
You have to pay your taxes. And I'm surprised people, and Sergio, you can answer this as well, but I'm surprised. I know, when my house, I have my taxes in the payment of that mortgage payment.
Yes.
Because there's no way at the end of November I want, good old Uncle Sam knocking on my door and saying, pay me my taxes. Now it's all paid for. So I'm surprised people do that without doing their mortgages, without including that in there. Even my homeowner's insurance of the actual property itself, that's also included in there. I make sure of it.
It's surprising when you see that a bank has a mortgage against the property and they get notice that the taxes haven't been paid. It's really surprising to see that the bank doesn't redeem the taxes for their borrower because that's the security for their loan. But there's a lot of times that tax deeds come up and it's going to wipe out the lender.
Yeah.
Well,
Mr. Sergio?
sometimes lenders, they drop the ball.
Sometimes.
Not you though, Bank of England.
No. Other lenders.
Okay, I just wanted to specify.
Just to make sure, the people who are processing your mortgage payment, they're recently they were so overwhelmed with so much property that they were having to do that they didn't do their due diligence and they let things go by the way. And usually the ones who are more at risk of having a tax deed problem are those who give more than 20% and they want to pay the taxes by themselves. Some people are thinking that, I'll pay the taxes by myself, I'll save myself money, I don't have to deal with this extra payment over the mortgage. Not thinking that if something happens, if you are able to pay your mortgage constantly, then you don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
But if you stop making those payments on the property, that's when you get into trouble.
I have a few relatives who flat out own their property, and what they do is they know their mortgages or their taxes are $2,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
They divide that up by 12, so every month they're putting that money aside. So come November 1st, they're already writing out the check. So I'm surprised that there's not a lot of that's not included in the mortgage, and it kind of blows my mind. And when I'm out with my clients, I suggest it to them. To include that in there because that's one less headache to worry about because life happens. Mm-hmm. The AC goes, now you got to buy a new AC and then you're dipping into what your saving is for your taxes. Now you're dipping into paying your AC. Now comes November, you don't have your money for the taxes, so that becomes an issue.
Especially in November, that's a hard time of year.
Christmas is coming, Thanksgiving, and not your stress level goes up because the family's coming and you got to cook and
Listen to your lender. Let them put it in your mortgage payment.
Listen to Sergio.
Yeah, always put it in there.
Yep. So if we have an investor who's trying to decide whether to invest in tax lien or tax lien, what should they consider? But before you answer that, recuerda de que nosotros estamos buscando la tercera persona para llamar la tarjeta de Visa de $25 se puede ganar a llevar a su mamá a comer o a comprar un traje. Llama después que vamos a coger un break, llama después del break a 407-394-1340.
Sintonicen con nosotros en 1340 AM, la mejor. Sábados de 10 a 11 de la mañana, Michele y nosotros le brindaremos valiosa información de cómo cumplir su sueño de adquirir su propia casa.
Hola, mi nombre es Michele con the QS Realty Group. Acompáñame todos los sábados a las 10 de la mañana para informarte de los varios maneras de comprar tu casa. Hablamos el sábado.
Mi nombre es Sergio Ortiz del Banco of England, invitándolo a que sintonicen con nosotros en 1340 AM, La Mejor. Sábados de 10 a 11 de la mañana, Michelle y nosotros le brindaremos valiosa información de cómo cumplir su sueño de adquirir su propia casa.
Hi, I'm Michele with the QS Realty Group. Join me every Saturday at 10 a.m. on La Mejor 1340 to inform you of the many different ways of making your dreams come true with owning a home. See you then.
La esfera sigue girando y el Capi te las pone.
Hola, estamos aquí con Sergio de Bank of England, Michelle, la reina de Buenas Raíces, que soy yo, y aquí estamos con Hope, de Hope Richards, de Richards Law Firm. Estamos hablando de muchas diferentes cosas, confianza en la tierra y impuestos. Y ella está, nosotros estamos hablando de todo eso con ella. Pero acuérdate, mañana es el Día de las Madres y yo y Sergio queremos enviar un montón de abrazos a todas las madres que van a celebrar el Día de Madres mañana. Y acuérdate que yo y Sergio estamos buscando la tercera persona para llamar a nosotros para ganar una tarjeta de regalo de $25 para ustedes a sacar a su madre a comer. O se puede llevarle un poquito shopping, que se puede comprar un traje o un diamante, algo así. Llamas a nosotros 407-394-1340. Ya nosotros tuvimos 2 llamadas, estoy esperando la tercera llamada y yo creo que están ahí. Hello.
Buenos días, está en el aire.
Buenos días, ¿cómo está?
Buenos días, ¿cómo está, caballero? ¿Está en el aire su nombre?
Valentín López.
Valentín, usted ha sido el ganador de este día de los $25 para las madres. Gracias por sintonizarme con nosotros. ¿Usted tiene alguna pregunta acerca de bienes raíces ya que está aquí en el área?
Bueno, para el primer comprador, si apenas uno está arreglando aquí en el Seguro Social, que apenas agarra con Seguro Social.
Ok, usted acaba de legalizar su residencia en Estados Unidos, para ponerlo así. Sí, legalmente está en Estados Unidos, perfecto. Ya que tiene los papeles, perfecto, vas a necesitar 2 años de ingreso y obviamente un crédito establecido para poder adquirir tu propiedad. Pero si tienes tiempo, escribe mi número.
Es la primera vez que te acaba de agarrar el Seguro Social.
Sí, o sea que lo tiene, que la tinta en el Seguro Social todavía está un poquito húmeda. Está bien fresquecito.
First time buyer.
Oye, caballero, mira, hazme un favor, llámame al teléfono mío, 407-319-3113, 407-319-3113, y vamos a hablar de eso más a detalle. Llámame después de las 11:30 y así podemos hablar, pero necesitamos...
Se puede ask for quietly, can you get his phone number without doing it on the air? Okay.
No vas a colgar.
Vamos a necesitar tu información para que vengas a buscar la tarjeta. Te vamos a poner en hold por un segundo, ¿ok?
Okay. So Oscar te va a hablar. Gracias por llamar. Y aquí Valentín López ganó los $25 para los días de los madres. So let's go back to speaking to Hope Richards of Richards Law Firm. Acuérdate, ella le va a dar clases sobre la confianza en la tierra. So, si ustedes quieren aprender cómo hacer esto, se puede enviar un email a ella a info@teachmelandtrust.com y ella te va a decir cuándo va a hacer la clase, en qué local, qué hora, y estos son free classes. Or you charge?
There's going to be a fee for the classes, but
Okay.
all the videos leading up to it, quick tidbits and stuff like that, that's all going to be free.
Okay, so that's all going to be free, the little tidbits, but it's well worth your money if you are looking to start doing land trust, because there is money to be made in it. You just need to learn the right process, because if you do this wrong, you got a big problem on your hand. La otra cosa que yo quiero decirte que nosotros, que si ustedes usen a mí, ayudarte a comprar una casa, yo tengo un truck para ayudarles ustedes a mudar. So, yo te voy a dar un truck, bueno, no te voy a dar, te voy a prestar el truck para mudar, que Sergio me enseñó eso, para ayudar a ti a mudar a su casa. So, si me usan a mí, si están buscando a comprar una casa, yo te voy a dar un truck, te voy a usar, prestar, ay que,
Te vas a prestar.
la casa. El truck, 321-300-5774, 5774. 321-300-5774. Okay, Miss Hope, we were talking, before we went back on to a break, we had, if an investor is trying to decide whether to invest in tax liens or tax deed, what should they consider?
What type of asset do you want to hold? So if you're not interested in holding real property, a house and a piece of land, then a tax deed isn't for you. But if you got a little bit of money, you can pay off somebody's taxes and you want to earn some interest, then a tax certificate is more up your alley.
Okay.
Because one is just paying off somebody's taxes and earning interest. Another one is actually owning a piece of property. So it just depends on your investment strategy.
What for like a first time, like let's say I'm doing this for the very first time, it probably, what you're telling me and what I'm understanding is a tax certificate would probably be the easiest way to start, the smarter way to do it,
It'd probably
not
be
as
easier.
risky.
Easier and less money, probably. You know, instead of going to auction and needing enough money to actually buy a house.
Well, you need cash for that,
You gotta have
because they're not
cash.
going to say, Sergio, come with me and give me this loan.
No, you know. Are you going to loan on tax deed, Sergio? No, you can have cash for both. Yeah, you have to have cash for both. But a certificate's probably going to be less cash that you're going to have to put up to start the investment process.
So it would be better just to do the tax certificate than the tax deed.
Right, and you can just walk down to the tax assessor's office and they'll tell you how to get started doing that.
Oh, that's easier.
Easy.
Very easy. Okay. But if any of you have any questions, you can always email Hope Richards of Richards Law Firm at info@teachmelandtrust.com, and she'll be more than happy to respond to you and answer any questions that you might have.
Right, I don't just do land trust. That just happens to be a good topic to teach everybody about. But I'm a real estate attorney, and I specifically cater to investors. So any questions you have about investing in real estate, I can help you with those.
Perfect. So you can feel free to give an email.
Or call me. You can call me at the office.
What was that phone number again?
It was 407-539-0781. And again, that's 407-539-0781.
Perfect. And your name again?
My name is Hope Richards, and I own Richards Law Firm.
Perfect. So we can always go ahead into that.
So, mi gente, si algún día usted dice, no, que ya perdí toda esperanza y no hay más esperanza para nada, recuérdense que siempre tiene la esperanza con Hope, que no solamente es el nombre de ella, sino también es como ella trabaja, que a los que no tienen esperanza, ella te va a traer tu esperanza y te va a buscar la manera de resolver las cosas. So, nuevamente estamos aquí with Hope. We have been so blessed to have you here with us.
We can't thank you enough
And
for coming in.
It's
fun, isn't it?
It was way easier than I expected.
You probably didn't sleep last night.
I had no idea what to expect, but y'all were so laid back. You're like, just talk. I was like, oh,
okay,
that easy, huh?
So now we're in the winding moments of the show, and we want to thank you for coming.
Thank y'all for having me.
We have enjoyed it. Like I tell people, you know, if once you get somebody who's good, you always try to do business with them. And I'm telling everybody, please, contact Hope if you have any questions with real estate, and she can guide you through this. We hope you never have problems.
Right.
But when you lose your hope, we always have hope for you.
We always have hope, Richard, so don't lose hope.
Right. As a first-time investor, you need some guidance.
You do.
You're not expected to know how to do everything. That's
Right. And you might think that you know, and just because you watch some of these shows on HGTV, that's not real life at times. So don't take it literally like it is, because it's not. I mean, I've done flipping, and it's not the way that it is on TV. Definitely not. And each one I've learned something along the way. So you definitely need experts on your side to guide you. And there's plenty of opportunities for people to come in. You just need to know who.
You need a good agent like Michele, or a good lender like Sergio.
And a great real estate attorney like Hope Richards of Richards Law Firm. I mean, that's just a tremendous amount of help on your side.
I hear gurus say all the time, you know, build your team. That's one of the only things I agree with gurus on.
Yes,
Right,
is
yes.
right.
build your team.
Build
That's
your
important.
team who's going to help you, who's going to be loyal to you, and who's going to be trustworthy to you, to where you know that's what you need. So we only have a few minutes left. Anything you want to say, Sergio, before we say goodbye?
No, we want to, once again, we want to wish every mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. We are very...
Valentín, we want to say
Congratulations.
Yeah, Valentín,
congratulations.
gracias Valentín, gracias por haber llamado y sido el
And our
ganador
winner.
número 3, sí, muchas gracias por llamar. Te voy a llamar después del programa, cuando tenga un momentito vamos a hablar más profundo acerca de los primeros compradores. Once again, Sergio de Bank of England, 407-319-3113, 407-319-3113.
Y yo soy Michele, la reina de Buenos Aires. Me pueden llamar 321-357-74. Se me usan a mí para comprar o para vender su casa. Yo tengo un truck para prestar a ustedes para ayudarte a mudar. Me tienes que usar porque yo te voy a ayudar a comprar ese perfecto casa que ustedes están buscando. 321-357-74. Gracias otra vez a Valentín López, que estoy extremadamente para usted que ganaste. Y también yo quiero decirte que la semana pasada yo te dije a Haines City que yo tenía un open house de 4 cuartos, 3 baños de una vecina, que yo tenía un open house la semana pasada y vendimos la casa. So, estamos bien contentas de eso. Ya vamos a dejar ya mismo.
Ya la vendieron y ya está todo listo, perfecto.
Ya está todo listo. Y también tengo otra casa en Ocala que son 4 cuartos, 2 baños y la casa está en perfecto, fabuloso que está esta casa. Limpiecito, bien grande, la cocina está nueva. Llámame, 321-357-74. Llama a Sergio, 407-319-3113. Hasta la semana que viene.
Dios me lo bendiga.